Hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello. Hi. So today's video, first of all, I don't know if I like my hair like this, but I think we're just gonna go for it. I always feel weird about a braid because I feel like my hair looks kind of thin and then it looks kind of weird over here. We're just gonna go with it. Okay, today's video, first of all, candle of the day. I did that a second time. Anyway, okay, there's gonna be a lot of chaotic energy in this video, I can already tell. Some days you turn on the camera and you're like on, ready to go, ready to film. And then some days I turn it on and I'm like, bloop, bloop, bloop. Today's candle of the day is champagne toast. I don't know, I was feeling pink. I don't know if you can tell, but I just wanted my champagne toast. I've been getting back into it. And not that it's not always my fave, but I've been like really burning it lately. I think I needed some like stress relief in my life. Anyway, today's video, we're gonna be doing a Yass or pause. Basically, we're gonna be talking about new makeup. Will I buy it? Won't I buy it? Kind of just discussing everything. And yeah, today's video also has a sponsor, which is so exciting. This sponsor is one of my faves. I absolutely love Audible, and they are kind of a reoccurring one, so I really appreciate their support on my channel. And yeah, let's roll the clip. Today's video is sponsored by Audible. If you guys have been around for a while, you know that I absolutely love Audible and their service. I've been using it since I was a teenager, and it's probably one of my favorite apps on my phone and probably one of my most used apps. Something I specifically love about Audible is just sort of their wide array of books. They have celebrity memoirs, fiction, nonfiction, like pretty much any book category you can think of or any book you can think of, Audible probably has it. With your Audible subscription, you get a free credit every month that you can use to buy whatever book you want, regardless of the price, which I think is awesome. But also on top of that, now Audible has the new Audible Plus catalog, which basically has tons of just free books that you can listen to, podcasts, tons of different options. This month, I was actually listening to The City We Became, which is a novel by N.K. Jemisin. My fiance recommended it to me. He absolutely loves this book. If you like sort of dystopian world type sci-fi books, I think this would be a really, really good listen. One of my other favorite things about Audible, I feel like for any mood you're in or any type of genre you like to listen to, they just have so many options via their library that you can buy from and also the Plus catalog. If you're interested in Audible, you can go to audible.com/smokyglow or text smokyglow to 500-500. Thank you so much to Audible for sponsoring this video. I really cannot recommend the services enough, guys. There's so much content to choose from. One easily my favorite app that I have on my phone. So thank you again, and I hope you guys will go check it out. Thank you so much again to Audible. I've been using them for years, so again, it's really cool to have a brand that I actually use sponsor me. So thank you so much. Be sure to check out all of the information down below. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of just some beauty news, and that is KVD Beauty sort of rebranding yet again. And this time, instead of kindness, vegan, beauty, with diversity, with kindness, and they're vegan. Instead of that, somebody commented on one of my videos when I made fun of their name, being like, isn't the joke over? Like, isn't it getting old? And I was like, no. I actually don't think it's over because that will never not be funny to me. Instead, they decided to go with Cara Veritas Decors, KVD, which stands for Value, Truth, and Beauty, Tattoo-Inspired Vegan Beauty. Okay. I just so wish that if they were going to do this sort of another rebrand, which it's a very short amount of time, like Kat Von D left and then they did the KVD and now it feels like almost a year later they're rebranding again. If they were gonna do a rebrand, I almost wish they had just not kept the KVD. I'm sure it's because they want to keep the old products, and also I would imagine it's to keep sort of brand recognizable because a lot of people already know KVD, they're very well established. But I just wish if they were gonna go in this direction and change it again, I kind of wish that they had just cut all KVD. I also low-key wish that they had just done not this. I don't understand why they would change it to yet another very long name. I don't understand why they would add all these extra things after the KVD, because now it's tattoo-inspired vegan beauty, which is just like, we get it. First of all, you're vegan. Cool. I almost would have, and rather they just be tattoo-inspired vegan beauty. Or like, that's still a little wordy, but something like that. Like if they want to do it based off of tattoos and that's their inspiration, I actually think that's dope. That's how Kat Von D originally started, was kind of based on her tattoo artistry. So I actually think the idea of going back to their roots and creating products that are based around tattoos, I think that's really cool. But I just don't understand why they keep using the sort of KVD initials. It just feels kind of like lazy at this point. And also at this this point, it's like you change one bad name for another bad name. So like, what was the point? Also, I think I saw an interview where Kat Von D said she wishes that they would stop using her initials, which I think is kind of interesting. Not that I really care about anything that she has to say, but I did think that was interesting that even she is like, give it up, because obviously those aren't the most organic initials. It kind of sucks because I kind of want KVD to succeed. I've talked about this before, but I feel like when the beauty industry as a whole kind of boycotts a brand for a specific reason, in this case Kat Von D was being boycotted because people didn't believe in her as a person, I almost feel like I want brands to see that when you make the changes people are asking for, that it's effective, so people will buy the products again, people will support the brand again. Obviously, I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions on that, but that's just my personal opinion. I feel like they did what people were asking for, and I also feel like they did it in a relatively quick manner. I'm sure it was very difficult to buy her out of her own company, and I'm sure that took a lot of time. I feel like they did take the steps to listen to consumers, so I almost want them to succeed, to be an example that like, if you listen, good things will happen. And also, I've tried a couple of the products since she's left the brand. I bought the rose blushes, I bought, what was it? What did I else? I think I bought one of the foundations, which wasn't very good. But I bought a couple things from the brand, and I like the products. Like, and it seems like based on this vibe, if they're gonna come out with this tattoo-inspired makeup, I'd have to see it first, but it seems promising. It's a promising concept. You have this sort of endless ideas behind tattoo artistry. Like, there's so many dope collections you could create inspired by tattoos and different styles of tattoos and doing collaborations with famous tattoo artists. Like, there's so much possibility there. So I want them to be successful. However, I just don't know why they keep almost becoming like a joke with the name changes. I just wish they would have honestly stuck with the old one, because the jokes were starting to die down about that one, instead of rebranding to this new one where now there's going to be more jokes. I don't know. I'm not like mad at this. I just wish that they had like not done it in the first place. It just feels silly. And I also wish if they were going to do a name change, I wish that it had been just a full rebrand entirely. Like, no more KVD. Okay, next. I got tagged in this like a trillion times. Because you guys know that I have a love for Chipotle, like a deep love. The fact that they added quesadillas to be able to be ordered through their app is like a national holiday for me. So a lot of you guys were tagging me in this e.l.f. Chipotle palette. I hate this. I hate it a lot. Here's the thing. I commend them that they did stick to the theme. The color palette of the eyeshadow palette, like the color palette, that is definitely what Chipotle looks like the line of Chipotle food. They definitely like stuck to a theme. And you guys know I love when a brand sticks to a theme, so I can commend them for that aspect of it. Like, thank you for picking a theme and sticking to it. Also, I might buy the avocado sponge. I think, just because I think that's adorable. e.l.f. like blending products, like their brushes and their sponges tend to be really good. So I might buy the avocado sponge. That's genius. Whoever came up with that is a genius. However, the actual palette, like, yes, they stuck to the theme. Yes, this is very clearly a Chipotle palette. Yes, on paper, this should be something that I like. But something about this I find to be so ugly. Like, I just think the palette is ugly. I don't like the colors. I like the silver packaging on it because it looks like the bowl. Again, like, I feel so bad because they really did. They did everything I asked for, which is like stick to a theme, but I still just hate this color story. I don't know what it is. I feel bad. I don't like it. I will never, ever use this. Like, I would buy this to review it maybe, or do like a video on it, and I can promise you after I put it in my drawer after that video, I would never, ever reach for this again. Like, this is not a palette that I would want to pull for. I think maybe the shimmer to matte ratio is throwing me off. Maybe it's the layout of the palette, how it's like 4 big pans, 2 big pans, bunch of little pans. Like, maybe that's what's throwing me off. Something about this palette really throws me. Maybe it's just that I don't find Chipotle aesthetic to be particularly good to makeup. Like, just because you can do a cool theme and you can come up with a creative concept doesn't necessarily mean it's a good creative concept, because when I look at the food sitting in front of me at Chipotle, I'm not exactly inspired by that food to like create makeup. I don't know. I commend them that this is a very well done launch, and I think it's funny, but I'm not gonna buy this. Like, there's no way. I feel like with me, food themed palettes, I really only like them them if it's cute food. What is cute food? I don't know, like cupcakes or like baked goods, or once you start leaving the realm of like baked goods and candy and you start going towards like the pizza, taco, burger category with food themed makeup, I'm out. Like I'm hard out. I don't like it. Oh man, good on them though. Like it's an interesting collab. I like the fiery red lipstick too. I think all in all this is cute and it's a good price point, which I can appreciate, but I'll never use this if I buy it. I don't really find that cute. Okay, next we have a launch from Fenty Beauty, which is the Fenty Beauty Body Sauce. I love the name. I think that's a really fun name. I like that Fenty always does creative stuff like that with naming. I think it's really fun. I think the idea of this is cool. It's basically just like a body foundation, but it's like a shimmer. It's really lightweight and it gives you like a little bit of a glow to it. I do like this. The thing is, personally, I probably won't buy this unless, okay, this is like way too personal to me. People get mad when I give reasons for why I'm not buying things that are like personal to me, but like it's my life. You clicked on this for my opinion. I don't know. Like I probably won't buy this, but at least now, but I am, because I'm getting married next year. I've been looking for a good body foundation to wear not only on my wedding day, but just like with all the, you have to wear, there's a lot of parties involved in weddings that I didn't know about. And a lot of like dresses you have to wear. And so I was looking into getting a body foundation for like my legs and my arms, just so they look really good in pictures and they photograph really well. And this is something that I actually might look into for that reason. It seems like it gives a very light coverage, which is what I wanted. I didn't want anything too cakey. And it also gives you that sort of glow and gleam that's really pretty. The thing I also like about this is I'm not a big fan of body oils. I just don't like feeling sticky. And I feel like those make you feel sticky all day. And this seems to give the effect of those Fenty Beauty Body Lavas, I believe is what they were called, without giving that sort of sticky oil-like consistency to it. So I'm actually not writing this off forever. I just think that like right now, this summer, I'll never wear this. I feel like this only works if you like maybe go out a lot, if you go to like parties, and I don't really do that. Especially right now, like I don't really leave the house. So I probably will skip this one, honestly, unless it's timed, maybe I'll try it when I get married. But other than that, like for this summer, I'm not buying this, but I think it's cool. I think it's a fun idea. I have a question though, for people that use like body oils and body foundations, does it get all over your clothes? Because I feel like I can't picture how you could apply product all over your body and then it like not get all over your clothes. Am I crazy? I don't understand that. I know people that use body foundations and I'm always like, but how is it not ruining everything you own? I already, just by putting stuff on my face, have ruined multiple sweaters with foundation, so I don't understand, but I think this is a cool launch, and I love the packaging, and I also just love Fenty. What is the price point on this, though? Oh my god, wait, $48! Okay, wait, I don't know about that now. I'm second guessing everything I said, knowing now that it's almost $50. That's a lot. That is a lot of money for what it is. Oh, that's so much. I don't know about that anymore. I might not do that. That's a lot. I guess you're getting a lot of product because it technically is a body product. Like I know you're getting 3.21 ounces, which in a normal foundation for like your face, you usually get like 1 ounce. Oh my god, look at me. Knowledge. So you're getting a lot of product, which is good. There's a lot of money to spend on something that likely you're gonna sweat off if you're wearing it in the summertime. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I probably would just sweat this off after a certain amount of time. Like Ulta Beauty did a WandaVision collaboration. I just hate this. I haven't watched WandaVision yet. I was waiting until it was like full. Is this an anti-haul? I feel like I don't like any of these products and stuff. Is this just a surprise anti-haul? Because this is bad. Like I haven't watched WandaVision yet because I've been waiting. I cannot watch things weekly as they come out. I have to wait till they all come out at once. The suspense eats me alive. So I waited until it was all out and I'm gonna binge watch it, I think, this coming weekend. However, this is just not at all the vibe that I thought WandaVision would have based on all of the sort of spoilers but not spoilers I've seen online. Like these eyeshadow palettes don't really seem WandaVision themed. As far as I know, Wanda doesn't wear a lot of corals and, you know, peachy pinks. I feel like she's more of a red gal. I don't know. This feels a little lazy. No, it feels very lazy actually, like incredibly lazy. Man, that blush palette is really bad. A really bad representation of the show, I feel like. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one. I feel like that's kind of a cash grab. Also, I found with Ulta, especially their like limited edition or like stuff like this, like their collab launches, their products are not good. Like they're not good quality. I don't like Ulta's eyeshadows to begin with, so that would write off the eyeshadows for me, but I've tried a couple of their blushes and I do like them, and some of their lip products, and I do like those. But I found that stuff that comes in this like limited edition packaging is usually not the best. It's a cheaper price, so I can appreciate that at least they're not trying to mark it up a lot, but with like I believe this is like the $10 to $28 price point for a lot of these sets. You could buy a lot of good makeup for $28 from like other brands that actually are going to perform well. Like you could buy the blush kit from e.l.f. for $4 and it's going to perform probably better than this blush kit that says WandaVision. You could buy the e.l.f. one and then just make your own cover art of WandaVision that's like cooler than this cover art, because this isn't even that cool, and then just like tape it on top to your e.l.f. blush palette that was $4 that's going to be better quality. Frankly, I'm not usually a big person on that. Like I believe if you like love something for the theme, like go off, but like this isn't even well executed enough to make it worth it, I feel like. Taste Beauty New York City came out with this collaboration between Walmart and Funko Pops that is makeup, like lip gloss. Okay, the lip glosses scare me. It looks like Tommy and Chucky's heads are on a pike. Like that's terrifying. I don't know who agreed to the Tommy and Chucky lip glosses looking like that, but I am horrified. Like that is actually a terrifying sight to see. I like Funko Pops too, but like this is terrifying. And the Angelica palette honestly is also scary. Imagine opening your drawer and you just have a decapitated Tommy, Chucky, and Angelica staring up at you. That's like the start of a horror movie. It's like imagine if we did like Toy Story, but instead it was makeup, and it was makeup packaging like this that comes to life every time you go to sleep. Or if this is a start of a horror movie, I'm gonna write that. Oh my God. Okay, if you're a writer, don't steal that idea. I'm selling it. No, this is really, scary. I can't even comprehend what the makeup looks like because I'm so scared. I'm so thrown by the packaging and how scary it looks that I can't even think. The Reptar, oh my God, I just saw a full picture of Chucky. That's so scary. The Reptar thing is kind of cool. Is that a Reptar gloss? Okay, the Reptar gloss I'm okay with because it's not a baby's head. Who okayed this? Who okayed a baby's head? I'm gonna cry. Who okayed a baby's head being put on lip gloss like that? Oh my God, who agreed to this? The more I look at it, the scarier it gets. And they don't have mouths, so it just looks like they cut, like, oh my God, I hate everything about this. I really hate that. And also Tommy doesn't look like Tommy. That does not look like Tommy Pickles. And Angelica doesn't either. They all look like the Coraline versions of themselves. You know Coraline, where they all have the button eyes? They all look like the Coraline versions of themselves. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta move on. That's really scary. Wow, I hate everything about that. Okay, no thank you. Next. Oh God. Okay, next. This is a product from Hindash, which is their first product. It's Hindash Cosmetics. This is their first kind of thing. I don't know Hindash very well. I've heard of him, but I don't know him super well. But this is their 6-pan gradient color story, and it's inspired by like a painter's palette. It's $70, which is a pretty steep price point in my opinion. And when I first saw this, I was like, how can you begin to justify a price point? But then I saw swatches and I was like, oh, this is actually freaking cool. It's basically a palette that you can get all from like one pan. You can get like a bunch of different colors because the gradient is so kind of perfect. So I saw like maybe they have the swatches in here. Yeah, I saw like one color. I believe this is the Feel Plus Real color. I saw that swatched, and apparently if you just kind of move down the pan, you get a different color. The only thing I worry about with this, number one, this would definitely be a learner's curve. Like I would not know how to use this buying it, so I'm not going to buy it just for that reason because I would have no idea how to use it, and I'd probably need to watch like a billion tutorials before I could learn. And second of all, I think that the only thing I would worry about is if you're doing an eye look and you like do the eye look and then you move to the other eye, or even if you're trying to do the same at the same time, I wonder how difficult it would be to find the correct gradient of shade that you pulled from the first time. Like I wonder, I'm sure that he's going to talk about that and kind of explain how you do that, but I do wonder just for ease of use how hard it would be to, because if I go in expecting a grayish blue and then I accidentally pull a brownish blue for my other eye, I think the eyes are going to look a little wonky, and I think personally I am just not precise enough to use a palette like this. I do think it's incredibly innovative. I think it's very hard to come up with, especially eyeshadow palettes nowadays, that are innovative and creative, because pretty much everything has been done, but I have never seen anything like this before. So I give major props for how innovative it is and how cool it is. I just think that, number one, for $70, I'm not going to know how to use it properly to make it worth it. And number two, I think that this is more for people who are a lot more professional at makeup than someone like me, you know? But I think I'd give props. I think this is a very, very cool launch. Okay, Melt Cosmetics is coming out with something that I actually want. Here we go. It's not an anti-haul. It kind of is an anti-haul. This is their cream blush lights. I'm so excited about these. One of the e.l.f. blushes, the Bee blushes that they came out with a while back, is still, that blush is one of my all-time favorite blushes. I love it so much. So I love their blush formula, and I'm very intrigued to try these sort of cream blushes. I anticipate this being very good. I will say I think I probably only need like one shade. I found with blushes, I usually, when I see a collection I'm excited about, I usually get excited and I'll buy like 2 shades or something, especially if I think I'm really gonna love the formula. But the reality is, like, I don't actually, there's very few like repeats of products I have with blushes, especially. Like, I have 2 of the e.l.f. ones. I bought 2 of the Fenty cream blushes. There's very few like repeat formulas where I don't use one significantly more than the other. Like, I usually favor one shade, and that is kind of the one that I pull from. The only exception to that is the Cover FX blush duos. I have 3 of those, and I use all 3 because they have a good sort of gradient between them. But I find that for the most part, whenever I buy multiples, I only ever reach for one of them. I always prefer one over the other. So I think I'm just gonna try to find one. That orangey one is really, really calling to me. I think that orangey peach color is gorgeous, and I love an orange blush, especially for summer. So I probably will pick one of these up and get one of these because I think this is really cool. I've been loving cream. I used to hate cream blushes, and now I'm just getting so much more into them as time goes on. Like, I'm getting so much more into it. Okay, Colored Rain came out with matte bronzers, and this is another product that I'm very interested in. I don't really need another bronzer right now. Like, at all. I have way too many because I go through this, I feel like I get really, like, I miss the sun in the winter, so I always buy an uptick of bronzers in the winter because, number one, I'm a lot paler than I normally am, and number two, I just like miss the sun. So I usually buy more bronzers, and I'm kind of bronzed out. Like, I have a little too much right now. I probably need to work through or declutter and like give away some bronzers before I buy a new one, but I'm actually very intrigued by this. I love Colored Rain. They're a brand I almost wish they would come out with more products more regularly. I feel like they put something out and I'm always really intrigued by it. Even if I don't buy it, I'm like intrigued by it, and then they go away for a while and I hear nothing from them, and there's not many new releases, and then when they do come back, I'm always like, oh my god, I love that. I feel like they would be one of my favorite brands if I could just like buy more stuff from them, but because I think it has to do with them being kind of a smaller company, but their products are always incredible quality, work super, super well. They're super blendable, easy to use, so I would be very intrigued by this, and I absolutely love the color range. I would expect nothing less from Colored Rain. Also, I find the price point to be really good. It's $16, which, you know, is a little bit more on the higher end side, but I think $16 for what you're getting for a good bronzer is like a pretty solid deal. Okay, next I want to talk about this perfume. I want this so bad. I don't normally talk about perfume, but I saw this and I was like, I want this. It is the Moschino Toy 2 Bubblegum. I want a bubblegum perfume. I want one so bad. It's like, I don't really mind. I don't really care about like the teddy bear packaging. That's kind of, I know that's kind of Moschino's like main thing. That's like their mascot of the brand is this teddy bear. So I'm not here nor there about the teddy bear, but the fact that I could buy a perfume that smells like freaking bubblegum, literally sign me up. Like, where do I sign? Where do I buy it? Like, that sounds incredible. I love, especially for spring, sweet smelling perfumes. Not necessarily as florally, like sweet, like candy-esque perfumes. And I feel like this is gonna smell like candy. It is candy. It's candy themed. So I love this. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it just yet, just because, the price point's not horrific for a perfume, like a higher end perfume. It's under $100, which for a lot of higher end perfumes, they really are charging a lot for some of these higher end perfumes. But the price point I would say is not horrific, especially if you got one of the smaller bottles. But honestly, I'm looking at my grotesque amount of perfumes I already own, and I really just need to get through these first. I'll probably wait on this one, but it is really cute. I love the idea of bubblegum themed. That's like everything to me. I do also just want to quickly talk about these blushes from Moira. They're ombre blushes, and I was actually excited to see Moira get a Trend Mood Spotlight. I actually got PR from them oh my god, it was forever ago. It was a long time ago. I got a few of their palettes and they were really good quality. Like they were good quality palettes, kind of basic, but like they worked well. I had fun with the palettes. I enjoyed them. So I was really excited to see that they got a spotlight. And I also think these blushes are really cool. Like they're super pretty. If I'm remembering correctly, yep, their price point is really good. These are $9, which I think is a fantastic price point. Blush like this with a cool embossing, a cool theme with the ombre. The only thing I will say is I'm kind of over, same thing with the eyeshadow palettes I just talked about from Hindash. Like I'm kind of over the ombre thing, just because I do find that even if it's slight, there is sometimes a little bit of inconsistency in the cheeks when you go to like reapply, or when you go to do one cheek versus the other if you have to re-dip. I do find that that happens sometimes, so I'm not the biggest fan of ombre blushes anymore, but I think that these look gorgeous. Like they look super, super pretty. I'd have to see the quality because obviously with blushes, I'm like a little picky. I don't want it to be too pigmented, but I also don't want no pigment, so I'm a little bit annoying about that. But I think these are pretty, and I think for the price point, this is really good. It's not something I really need, but I think if you're interested, I would probably try this. I think it's cool. Okay, finally, I talked about Jaclyn Cosmetics, I believe on Friday. I talked about Jaclyn Cosmetics and kind of how I felt. I just kind of ranted with Abby about how I felt about the relaunch and everything, and I still feel all of those things, but I realized in that video I completely forgot to say if I even liked the freaking lipsticks and if I liked how they looked. So I'm gonna just briefly give my thoughts on them. I will say I completely agree and concur with critique that this is not a good enough shade range. I know people think it's Jaclyn and people are too nitpicky. However, any brand, this goes across the board. If you're gonna make a line of nudes, I believe this is 20 shades. If you're going to make that many nude lipsticks and make it the nude collection, I would really implore you to make sure that it is a nude for every single skin tone and not just fair to like light medium skin tones, because the reality is most of these nudes are not actually nudes for a deeper skin tone. These are pinks or creams or whites, stuff like that. Like how she can make a shade that is basically a white color and then have all these really light shades and then only have 3 that would work on deeper skin tones, I think that's a valid criticism. Like I think that that's something that not only Jaclyn but all brands should be working on. There's a whole bunch of videos I could link down below about this topic, about the use of nudes in makeup, because obviously a nude is a different shade for every person. This is something I tried to work on too recently, just in my vocabulary, talking about nudes, because what's a nude for me is probably not a nude for a lot of you. So I think when you're going to be using that type of vocabulary of like, these are all nude lipsticks, I do think that you should be held accountable to an entire spectrum of nudes, especially when you're making 20 freaking shades. I also will say, she did not say what the sort of finish of these lipsticks are in her video, as far as I saw. I'm assuming they're matte based on how they dried down. And I will just say, again, I'm trying really hard not to be overly critical here, like I'm trying to be unbiased, but I would say this about any brand launching a 20 shade nude liquid lipstick line right now that's dries down matte. I just think that's a weird choice. I think that matte lipsticks, especially liquid lipsticks, have sort of been phased out a little bit in makeup. I know some people still use them, obviously, but I do think as far as trends, we're seeing people lean a lot more towards like satin lips, lip stains, lip glosses, especially with the masks that we all have to wear. So I do think that the launch of the matte liquid lipsticks is a weird choice. If they are a more satin finish, I think that makes a lot more sense, but I just haven't seen any clarity on that. As far as the packaging, I actually do like the packaging. I like the black ombre that shows the color at the bottom. I think that's really cute. I also like the idea of not making these lip kits and making it so any of these sort of lip liners could work for a bunch of the different shades. I think that's kind of cool and unique, because I agreed with her that a lot of people, you don't really have like one lip liner for one lipstick. You have like a good nude lip liner and then you put a bunch of lipsticks on top of that. That's also how I use lip liner. So I thought that was cool. Overall, I don't hate the launch. Weird timing, weird choice of products, and definitely wish it was more inclusive. But I don't think it's like horrible or a horrible idea or anything like that. I said this in my video about Jaclyn, but I don't even think that the idea of launching lipsticks again that are reformulated is a bad idea. Like I actually think that's a really good idea, especially after what happened. I just wish that she had addressed the first lipstick launch a little bit better first. That's kind of my opinion on those. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was a little fun to hear my opinions. I'm still laughing about those Rugrats. It's kind of an impromptu anti-haul. I feel kind of bad. I really don't like anything lately, but I think this is kind of a not a slow time for makeup because people are still putting products out, but I feel like we're going to start getting the spring launches soon, and those I'm very very excited for. I love spring launches. I love them. They're always so fun and happy. I don't know. I love you guys so much. I hope you like this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with some links and information about the rise in Asian hate crimes that have been happening since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Be sure to check those out. Stay informed, stay involved. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!